to get an idea of what Nick Sirianni might bring to the Eagles offense and how it might look next year. I took this game here against the Buffalo Bills. It's the wild card. It's a good defense, and handpicked a couple of plays and some concept that I think are really interesting and really could work for the Eagles to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers and help the wide receivers. So the first play here is out of 12 personnel. I think Nick did a really good job of scheming 12 personnel to get the ball to his dynamic players, mainly the receivers. So here he's going to make it look like it's a counter to the right side. Guard is going to pull, and the wing over here, Jack Doyle is going to be pulling as well. But then Pittman is going to come on a reverse, and Doyle is going to stop mid-pull, and he's going to come back as the lead blocker. You could imagine this with Jalen Reagor pretty easily, that he'll be the one coming from the backside right here. Then you have a situation where you have a lead blocker, and the receiver over here is going to block the backside of whatever is the most dangerous coming from that part. And because everything is flowing to the right side to begin with, everything here will be flowing. The linebackers will bite up on that. And then the main guy you have to take care of is the cornerback out there to the outside. And that's where your main blocker is going to come. And then, of course, the guy in press, and that is the most dangerous. So that becomes a solid chunk of yardage. This time we have a pretty cool design out of 11 personnel, only one tight end on the field here. And this play is going to have the tight end coming into the flat here. He's going to reverse behind the line of scrimmage. You're going to have Pittman coming on a crosser here, so they're essentially going to create a levels concept up here at the top. And then you have two guys going deep at the top of the screen here. So this is against cover 3, and it works because you're going to have the flat defender to the side right here, this guy right there. He's going to be coming up on the flat route right there, and then Pittman will be coming open in between the flat and the deep route because that is being carried over by the deep receiver here. So that leaves a big play for Pittman. Now, of course, had this been man instead, you would have plenty of man-beating routes because, you know, you'd have Pittman against a guy one-on-one here. That'll be a slower developing route, but you also have a quicker developing here. If you say you had a linebacker man up on Doyle right here, then he'll be coming across. That's an easy pitch and catch for a couple yards to check down if you're under pressure. And, of course, you'd have these two guys, if they're man-man and, let's say, 0 safety help over the top, then you have a favorable matchup. If it's cover 2 and you have one safety having to choose between whether to go with the 1 or the 2, then you have a favorable matchup there as well. So plenty of options, a slow read, a quick read, and of course the crossers to open up the space. Here's another pretty cool example with 12 personnel. So the inside tight end right here, he's going to be coming on a little bit of a deeper cross. And then the outermost tight end is going to take one outside step, and then he's going to come on a shallow cross in behind him. And to the top, you have a slot receiver going on a deeper cross over the middle here. Now, what this is going to do, this is against cover 3. So the two hook to curl defenders, who are right here, these two guys, they'll be having their hands full on the two routes that are coming in right here, which is going to leave a lot of space for the shallow crosser right here, dump it off to him, and he's going to get 10 yards right there. Now, if the hook to curl defender was to release of Mo Alley-Cox and then bounce up on the tight end coming across right here, Mo Alley would be getting open as this guy will be passing over the receiver. So this is a way of creating levels and creating crossers against zone where when the defenders are respecting those zone rules, it's still going to open up the space. Now, if this had been manned, you would have 3 crossing routes right here that we're all going to have to counter on, which, you know, if you're crossing, it's a good man-beating route. So you have 3 good options right here. And if this guy was to becoming even deeper, say it's cover 1 man, for example, then the safety will have to decide if he's taking over the fly over here or if he's taking the deeper crosser, and then you can decide which one of them is the favorable matchup. This is a pretty cool variant of the flood concept right here, and what I really like about it is that you sort of you add a crossing element to it, which is going to allow it to be a little bit better man beater. So what this is going to do is you're going to have the slot receiver to the top right here. He's going to be crossing shallow. Then you have, I think it's TY here at the bottom. He's going to cross upfield. He'll be the flat option in the flood to the top. Now this guy is going to be coming out, and this guy will be going deep. So what this is going to do is that this is man. This is cover 1 man. They're playing wall technique in the middle. So you're going to have TY open right there. The safety is going to be walling to his side, so it will come down on him. You have an outside breaking route right here against man. That's favorable. You have a guy coming over the middle here as well. So you have some a good combination of easy reads if any of the DBs in here in the middle are going to get picked off by the two crossers. See, if one of these guys get picked off, not everyone's playing wall technique. So if they've just been following their guy, one of these guys of the defenders will be caught in the middle, and that'll create an easy option for Rivers to throw to here. They don't. Bills actually play this really well. So then you have a good man beating out deep out here with a guy who is lined up outside shaded of him, and that's the one he chooses, and it's a good gain. You actually see that on this play right here, where it's cover one man again. Once again, it's wall technique in the middle, but they have so many crossing routes that everybody gets a little bit confused. Who has to travel, who has to pick up. So right here, once again, this is 11 personnel instead of 12, but it's the same concept. You're going to have two crossers from the top and then one shallow crosser from underneath. And what that is going to do, the two crossers here from the top are going to be picking up everything in the middle right here, and then the shallow crosser is going to be coming free, and that is an easy read. It's easy snap read for the quarterback to make, and it gets the ball in the hands of the playmaker here for an easy first down. A little bit later in the same drive, it's the same concept, but this time we're running with 12 personnel instead. We still have the slot receiver down here to the field side, and he's going to come as the shallow wide receiver here. You have the two tight ends coming in, picking over the middle, creating confusion with the wall defenders, and then you have your dynamic wide receiver open, and he goes in for the touchdown right there. And it doesn't matter if it's man, it doesn't matter if it's wall technique, it doesn't matter if it's zone, because if it's zone, then the two hook to curl defenders would be busy rerouting as they're doing right here, and then you'd still have that shallow space underneath with your guy coming across the middle for the touchdown. This is a fun example out of 11 personnel with Texas formation 3 receivers to the top of creating levels concept while also adding a crossing element. So see, we're still moving this crossing element because if you have dynamic playmakers and you have fast players, then they're usually going to be getting open on these crossing routes. And if you can hit one of those against a man or against man coverage, then you're set up for a good situation. So here you're going to have crossing for the two fast receivers, and the tight end right here is going to go inside and up, and then he's going to break to the outside. So that's going to create a levels concept with the receiver to the bottom who's going on a crosser right here. See, these guys will be crossing. That can create some chaos in between the defenders. Maybe one can get picked up. And then you're going to have the tight end who's releasing up, and he's releasing out. So you have a levels concept with the receiver here and the tight end. Now, had they been playing zone, the hook to curl defender would have to decide, am I taking the crosser, am I taking the backside guy? So one of these two guys will be getting open at that point. But this time it's against man, so you can wait for TY to get open against his guy, or you have the crosser at the top as well. You have three crossing routes. That's a really good situation for you. So if we're going to look at it one more time, notice the tight end right here going upfield, going to create some disturbance right here in the middle, coming out, and it's just to pick the matchup that you like the best of these crossing routes and the outbreaking. Of course, an easy way to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers is via screens. And this one is the jailbreak screen. It's very popular. A lot of teams use it. What I really like about this variant of it is the running into the boundary side and with a tight end up there. So usually you'll see it with like three receivers and then jailbreak, and you have a lot of cornerbacks lined up with the wide receivers, and then one of them whiffs in the block. It's a broken play. So here you're combining it with a zone play action. So everyone here is going to be zone blocking to the right side. It'll pull up the linebackers. The defensive lineman will get out there as well. And then you're going to throw it out there. You're going to have the tight end as the lead blocker. One, that's a hell of a lead blocker. And two, he's just going to go up against the cornerback. That is his primary responsibility. And then, of course, you're going to have the three offensive linemen who are zone blocking. They're going to reverse and come out there again. One of them will be taking out the guy who will usually travel with the tight end. That is one guy. That is the simple thing you have. And then, of course, the backside of the offensive lineman closest to the line of scrimmage will be taken over the most dangerous from the inside. So that's just two guys instead of those. Usually, you have three guys out there, and it just becomes a mess. And it's easy for the guy with the ball in his hands. All he has to do is just follow his block. Of course, this guy even whiffs. He doesn't even block the guy who comes out there. And it's still a long play because it's just that one guy. I don't know about you, but I'm imagining Jalen Reagor on this play coming out there with Dallas Goedert as the lead blocker. And I can imagine that'll be some play.